what we're going to talk about today is really big. It's really powerful. And if I'm being completely honest, this conversation deserves its own series. Like, as I was thinking about what I want to talk to you about tonight, and also being mindful of time, having this be, I've been doing a pretty good job with keeping these short and sweet. If you've been in my world, you know, short and sweet is something that I struggle with because I just want to be here with you all day long. But as I was thinking about what I want to share with you as like an overall topic, I can see how there are so many different layers and nuances to this, and that feels important. So I'm going to sum it up really quickly with the thing I want to share with you and how this came through. There was a moment today. This thing happened. I felt this feeling inside my body and was like, yes, this is why we do what we do. And again, there's multiple layers here. And I think sometimes I feel nervous to speak up. Sometimes I feel nervous to share messages because I don't know about you, but I feel like we live in a day and age where people can't wait to pounce, where people want to attack and pick apart every single word you say. Have you ever felt that way? I know that has felt very true for me in being in the coaching industry. And I know I'm not alone in that. I've heard so many people in my industry bring this up. But so here's what I want to share. It's actually like pretty freaking cool. And it is my belief that no matter what, love always wins. Love always wins. And if love always wins, then love is the absolute best strategy. Always. Love is the best strategy in life and in business. I said what I said. Now, again, there are some layers here, and we'll get into it, some of the layers in a different conversation, because love is different than people pleasing. Love is not the same as doing something just to make someone else happy at the expense of what's best and most aligned for you. So that feels really big, what I just said, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Love always wins. Love is the best strategy. How did this come through today? I received a text message. I cried when I received the text message, and I feel like I want to cry again thinking about it right now. A former DKC Dream Team member, so a woman who I love and adore, who used to be part of the Dani Kenney coaching team, who is no longer a part of the Dani Kenney coaching team, sent me a text message to share something so wildly special and exciting, something that she is only sharing with the people who are closest to her in her life, something that she has not shared publicly. And the fact that we haven't connected in a couple of weeks, and this was the message that came through, this text, this really beautiful thing she was sharing, made me realize how special our relationship is. Now, really quickly, what does this have anything to do with love? So when you're a business owner, you've got to do some things that feel really scary and uncomfortable. You have to have really big conversations. And I was part of the hiring and firing process at my corporate job. I loved hiring people. I hated firing people. I hated writing people up. I hated having to have the conversations with the people that were anything other than fun and rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. I had to do that in my corporate job. And now I definitely have to do that as a business owner. And so this person, I love her dearly. She did nothing wrong, but I could just feel that it was no longer a right fit. And I was really, I felt some sort of way. I was having a really hard time coming to terms with this because I love this person and I didn't want to hurt her. But I knew in that moment that what was at the core of it, what was best for the team was going to be best for everybody. And that felt really scary, but I knew that I had to trust that. So that's an example of love always wins. Love is the best strategy always in life and in business, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't look like it right now, it is without a doubt, hands down, 100% of the time. So I love this person and I didn't want to hurt her. There's that word love. I did and I do love her very much. And I ultimately knew what was best. That is where this other piece comes in. So we had this tough conversation. So grateful I did, because of course, you could probably guess this, what I was feeling, she was also feeling. So like have the conversations, have the big, scary, tough conversations. But when they're coming from here, you have very little to worry about, because the outcome and the result is always going to be what is best for everyone, because love always wins and love is the best freaking strategy. So this wasn't actually about me like firing somebody, like that's not at all the right word, but it was me having a really hard conversation that led to a separation, an uncoupling in business, if you will, if that's a term, we're going to go with that. And it was the most beautiful thing that ever could have happened. And although there was this releasing that happened within the business, we both care about and respect each other so much as human beings, as women, as mothers, as leaders. And that is the thing that will always be the truest. That will be the heart of our connection, just as that is the heart and will always be at the heart of every team member I have ever had and every team member I will ever have. That will also be at the core of every relationship and every, like the way that I relate to every client, current client, past client, future client. And that's not to say that really crappy things don't happen in business, because they do. I have had my heart broken many times over my 10 years of entrepreneurship. I have had to grow a very thick skin. I'm not saying business is rainbows and butterflies. I'm not saying it's always easy. I'm not saying that people aren't going to do really terrible things, but even the situations and quite honestly, like the people who broke my heart and in that moment I felt like broke me, I have so much love and respect for those people at the end of the day, because it's about the human being first and foremost, no matter what. Always, 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 life and business, love always wins. The best strategy there is. Let me know how this lands. Curious, do you agree? And hey, it's okay if you don't agree, because this is not fact. It's so hard for me to say that because I feel like it is fact. It's fact in my world. It's truth for me. I will believe that until the end of time. And I've had a lot of people and a lot of situations and a lot of circumstances that could have had, like I've been faced with, that could have had me believe otherwise. And I don't, and I won't. So I love you. We'll dive more into love as a strategy, because I do feel like it feels very kumbaya. And what's wrong with kumbaya? A little bit too good to be true, and it's really not. So let me know if you have any questions. Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to start a conversation with you again, because there's so many different layers and flavors and nuances to this, like the bigger picture of what I'm sharing. I just wanted to share that moment today because it felt so good. It was so special, and I'm so grateful. And that's why it's my belief about love as a strategy. The other thing is, with this whole really fun 10-day go live visibility accelerator, I have topics for days that I could talk to you about and share with you, things that I know will make a massive difference for you inside of your life and your business. And also, if there is something that you're curious about, if you have any questions for me, if you have topics that you want me to dive into, a conversation that you want to start together, drop it in the comments or send me a private message, and would be thrilled, absolutely thrilled to create content around that for you and for the DKC Soul Fam.